There's a quiet peace that settles over you when you've truly moved on. Old wounds fade, old mistakes recede into memory. You breathe easier, living in the present. But then, it happens. Someone, perhaps someone you once held close, reaches into that healed past. They pull it out, not gently, but like a weapon. They twist it, reminding you of the pain you thought was long gone. And with a voice laced with pity or contempt, they utter those familiar words. Remember that? That's who you were. In that moment, your chest tightens. Not because the past has returned, but because you realize someone is trying to use it against you. It feels like betrayal all over again. Our first instinct? Anger, defensiveness. We start explaining, justifying, I've changed, I'm not that person anymore. But the more we explain, the deeper we fall into their trap. We hand them the power, the control over our emotions. The Stoic, however, does not yield. Today, I want to share 3 Stoic responses, 3 powerful ways to answer, not with anger or defensiveness, but with an unshakable calm. Response 1. Yes, that happened. Let's dive into the first powerful Stoic response. Yes, that happened. Our initial human instinct, fueled by ego, is often denial. We yearn to forget, to erase, to pretend that painful chapter never occurred. But Stoic philosophy offers a radical path to liberation through acceptance. Consider the weight of trying to hide or justify every past misstep. It's exhausting, constantly looking over your shoulder. When someone confronts you, perhaps saying, I remember you failed spectacularly at that company, or your own actions led to that betrayal, your typical reaction might be a surge of defensiveness. You might feel a flush of shame. But the Stoic response is different. You don't flinch, you don't defend, you don't offer lengthy explanations. Instead, you simply meet their gaze and state, calmly, unequivocally, yes, that happened. There are no excuses in that statement, no shame, no lingering guilt. Why does such a simple line carry such immense power? Because it instantly disarms them. It steals the one thing they crave most, your emotional reaction. People who weaponize your past are rarely seeking truth or closure. They are seeking control. They want to witness you squirm, shrink, or frantically justify yourself. But when you face it with such calm acceptance, their weapon suddenly becomes inert. It has no edge, no power over you. Imagine an old friend bringing up a foolish mistake that led to you being fired years ago. Instead of explaining or getting angry, you respond, yes, that happened, and I learned a valuable lesson from it. In that instant, you reclaim your narrative. You sever their control. Because once you are no longer ashamed of who you were, no one can effectively use that past against who you are. Seneca, the great Stoic philosopher, once penned, there is nothing more noble than standing before your own faults and saying, yes, I did that, and I learned from it. By accepting your past, you reclaim its meaning. You take ownership of your entire story, rather than allowing someone else to define or distort it for you. This acceptance is not an admission of current weakness, but a declaration of past growth. Response 2. I've learned from it. Now let's explore the second transformative Stoic response. I've learned from it. This isn't just a sentence, it's a declaration that turns your past from a burden into a source of power. It fundamentally shifts the entire conversation. You're no longer saying, I was wrong, but proclaiming, I have grown. Those who attempt to wield your past against you are fixated on the person you used to be. What they often fail to grasp, or perhaps refuse to acknowledge, is that you are no longer that person. Life is a process of continual shaping. Think of a sword forged in intense fire. It is the repeated heating, hammering, and cooling that makes it sharper, stronger, more resilient. In the same way, you become stronger, more insightful with every challenge, every break in your life. Those very cracks aren't weaknesses, as a profound truth reminds us. They are precisely where the light gets in. Consider the monumental figure of Nelson Mandela. He endured 27 years of unjust imprisonment, a past that could easily have crushed any human spirit, leaving behind only bitterness and resentment. Yet he emerged not with hatred, but with a profound statement, I do not hate them. He realized that true freedom, the kind that cannot be imprisoned, begins within. So when someone attempts to undermine your present wisdom by saying, you failed in your marriage, how can you possibly speak about love? You have a powerful answer. You can smile not out of sarcasm, but genuine insight, and respond, because I've been broken, I understand what love is and what it truly is. That is not a reaction born of defensiveness. It is a response steeped in wisdom. You are not merely defending yourself, you are actively redefining yourself in the face of their judgment. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher-emperor, wisely wrote, "Every obstacle is an opportunity to practice virtue." This is precisely that practice. When they attempt to stain you with your past, you use that very past to demonstrate your present strength, your evolved character. This is the profound art of transformation, turning pain into profound wisdom and your very scars into undeniable symbols of spiritual maturity. You show them that the fire they think should have consumed you instead purified and strengthened you. Response 3. Why are you bringing this up now? Now for the third, exquisitely powerful Stoic response, designed to silence even the most persistent manipulator. Why are you bringing this up now? Notice the tone. There's no anger here, no sarcasm, no accusation. It's simply a question born of pure, genuine curiosity. And it is precisely that calm, unruffled demeanor that they find so utterly intolerable. When you ask why, you instantly, dramatically shift the entire dynamic. You're no longer the one under attack, forced to defend. Instead, you become the observer, gently yet firmly, inviting them to examine their own motivations for the attack. They intended to seize control of your emotions, to provoke a reaction, but now you've turned the tables. They are forced to confront their own intentions, their own inner workings. You've held up a mirror, forcing them to look directly into the shadows they might have been attempting to hide from. If their underlying intentions were genuinely sincere, perhaps they were misguided or concerned, or even trying to help in a clumsy way, your question prompts them to pause, to reflect. They might even feel a flicker of shame at their approach. But if their true purpose was to wound you, to diminish you, to assert dominance, they will often crumble under the sudden, unexpected weight of their own exposure. Their manipulative tactic is brought into the harsh light of self-reflection. Epictetus, another cornerstone of Stoicism, sagely observed, "The one who harms others is the one already in pain." This insight is crucial. Often people bring up your past not because of you, but because they can't face their own present. They project their internal struggles, their insecurities, their unmet needs onto you. So remember this, when you calmly and thoughtfully ask, "Why are you bringing this up now?" you have already taken back control. You've skillfully turned the spotlight onto them, forcing them to answer for their actions, their motives. That is the precise moment when the balance of power flips, not with a single shout, but with a quiet, dignified question. Your composure becomes an impenetrable armor. Your silence, when appropriate, becomes a wall of steel, safeguarding your inner peace. So, let's bring this all together. People, unfortunately, will try to use your past to pull you down. Understand this clearly. It's not always because you are weak, but often precisely because your growth, your resilience, your peace reminds them of what they could have become, or what they are avoiding in themselves. When you rise above your past, you inadvertently become a mirror, reflecting their own challenges, their own unaddressed pain. And not everyone is ready to face their own reflection. They don't attack you because you're broken. They attack because you've healed, because your hard-won peace threatens the chaos they might still be clinging to. So, as a Stoic, remember these 3 foundational principles for navigating such encounters. 1. Acknowledge your past without shame. Own every chapter, knowing each one contributed to who you are today. 2. Turn every mistake into a lesson, not a life sentence. See challenges as opportunities for growth, not permanent scars of failure. 3. Ask questions instead of reacting. Maintain your calm, shift the focus, and let them see their own reflection in your unwavering dignity. That is how a Stoic truly wins. Not through angry noise, not through frantic defense, but through profound dignity, self-awareness, and unshakable inner composure. You don't need to fight to prove you've changed. Those who genuinely see you don't need an explanation. Your present self speaks volumes. And those who refuse to see or are intent on judging, no explanation, however eloquent or rational, will ever be enough to convince them. One day, someone will inevitably bring up your past again, and in that moment, you'll find yourself smiling. Not a smile of pride, not a smile of lingering pain, but a smile of profound, authentic peace. Because you will know with absolute certainty, I am not what happened to me. I am how I chose to rise from it. That, my friends, is true freedom. It's not about forgetting your past, but about being utterly at peace with it, even when you remember every detail. Your past doesn't define you. How you choose to face it and integrate it into your growth does. And if someone tries to drag you back into an old, closed chapter, smile with grace and truth and say, "Thank you, but I've already finished that part of the story." Then walk away, calm, steady, untouchable, like a true Stoic.